Welcome back. If you're passionate about coin collecting and interested in learning about rare and valuable coins that have captured the interest of collectors worldwide, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into two iconic coins from the United States, highly sought after for their rarity, uniqueness, and historical value. First up, we'll discuss one of the most expensive and valuable coins in the United States, the Abraham Lincoln, wheat 1 cent, 1929. Large date without mint mark. This particular coin is one of the most coveted among collectors due to its rarity, historical significance, and unique design features. Let's take a deep dive into the 1929 Lincoln wheat cent, its background, market value, design, and why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it today. The 1929 wheat cent is part of the famous series of coins that were minted from 1909 to 1958, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This series of 1 cent coins is known as the wheat cent because of the wheat stalks that adorn the reverse side. This design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, was iconic for its representation of the time's agricultural roots. The wheat cent was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial design, making these earlier coins a significant part of American numismatic history. The 1929 coin is particularly notable because of its high demand among collectors, despite its relatively high mintage. However, there's a key distinction: the 1929 large date variety. The distinction between the large date and the small date can often be subtle, but it has a significant impact on the coin's value. In the 1929 series, the large date is far rarer than its smaller counterpart, making it a prized piece for collectors. The large date refers to the distinctive size of the numerals used for the year 1929 on the coin. It's a key identifying feature for collectors trying to determine whether the coin is one of the rare varieties. The mintage of the 1929 Lincoln wheat cent was fairly high at over 118 million, but the coin's value today is mainly driven by its condition and whether it is part of the large date variety. In circulated condition, a 1929 large date without a mint mark is worth anywhere from $88,500 depending on the grade and specific characteristics of the coin. However, in higher grades, the price can increase exponentially. For example, coins that are graded in mint state MS-63 or higher can fetch prices ranging from $98,000 or more, while pieces with higher grades, such as MS-65 or above, could be worth even more. What makes this coin even more special is the fact that it's part of the larger story of the wheat cent series. The 1920s were a period of significant change in America, and the coin itself is a reflection of the economic conditions at the time. The late 1920s marked the beginning of the Great Depression, and many coins from this era carry historical weight. While the coin itself might not have been viewed as anything extraordinary at the time of its release, today it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors who value it not just for its metal content or design, but also for its connection to a pivotal moment in American history. As for errors, the 1929 Lincoln wheat cent doesn't feature any prominent minting errors, but there have been some cases of misstruck coins that further increase the value of specific specimens. Some coins might feature weak strikes or other characteristics that are viewed as minting anomalies, which add to their collectability and rarity. Additionally, some collectors might be interested in coins with unusual toning or discoloration, adding another layer of uniqueness to each coin. The historical and economic context behind the 1929 Lincoln wheat cent, coupled with its design, makes it a favorite among numismatists. Coin collectors tend to view these coins as a link to the past, providing a tangible connection to an earlier era in American history. For those looking to add a key piece to their collection, the 1929 large date Lincoln cent stands out as one of the most valuable and iconic coins of the early 20th century. Moving on to our second coin, we're diving into the Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent 1947 large date without mint mark. While this coin may not be as widely recognized as the 1929 version, it holds its own in terms of collector value, especially when it comes to specific conditions and errors. So, what makes the 1947 wheat cent such an interesting and valuable coin in today's market? Let's take a closer look. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent is another coin from the iconic series, featuring the same obverse design by Victor David Brenner, showing a profile of President Abraham Lincoln. The reverse, with its wheat stalks, remains unchanged. The 1947 coin is part of the later years of the Wheat Cent series, just over a decade before the series was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. In terms of mintage, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent is not particularly rare. It had a mintage of over 1 billion coins, making it much more common compared to some of its earlier counterparts. However, there are several factors that can influence its market value, especially in terms of condition and the presence of certain anomalies. One such anomaly is the red coloration, which refers to a coin's original reddish hue that it develops due to the copper content. Coins that retain this original coloration are often highly prized by collectors and can fetch higher prices than coins that have turned a dull brown color over time. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent, when found in circulated condition, is worth relatively little, generally falling between $178,000 depending on the grade and condition. However, when the coin is in red or red-brown condition graded RB or RD, its value can increase significantly, often reaching prices between $300,000 or more for coins in higher grades. The value further increases for coins that exhibit exceptional features or errors. What really makes the 1947 coin stand out among collectors, though, is the existence of the so-called dirty or rusty examples. These are coins that have been exposed to harsh elements, resulting in a tarnished or corroded appearance. While these coins might not have the pristine aesthetic that some collectors prefer, they represent an interesting aspect of coin collecting. Some collectors actively seek out coins with a rusty or dirty look, believing that these coins are unique and tell a story. In some cases, the wear and tear can add a level of historical intrigue to the piece. In terms of market value, a 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent in a red or red-brown condition can fetch around $200,000 depending on the grade. However, coins that are in particularly dirty or rusty conditions may actually increase in value for collectors who are specifically seeking these types of coins, as they are seen as anomalies and provide a different angle of collecting. These coins represent a moment in time when the coin was subjected to various environmental conditions that altered its appearance, further adding to its uniqueness. Collectors are also drawn to the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent because of the overall historical context in which it was minted. The late 1940s were a time of economic recovery in the United States following World War II, and coins from this period carry a certain nostalgic value. The 1947 coin, with its historical ties to post-war America, represents an era when the country was undergoing a transformation, both socially and economically. As a result, collectors are not just attracted to the coin for its design and rarity, but also for the historical significance it holds. While the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent may not have the same level of intrigue as the 1929 large date, its place in the world of coin collecting is significant. With a mintage of over 1 billion coins, the 1947 issue is certainly common, but finding one in exceptional condition or with specific collector-desired features, like a red or dirty finish, can increase its value significantly. For collectors looking to diversify their collection with pieces that showcase unique characteristics and historical relevance, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent is a coin to consider. Next up, the 1930 wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that holds a unique place in the history of U.S. numismatics. The 1930 issue was part of the lengthy run of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Cent, which was produced by the U.S. Mint from 1909 to 1958. This particular coin stands out due to its relative scarcity, historical context, and the overall market demand that continues to make it a valuable addition to any collection. Looking at the broader context of the 1930 wheat penny, it was produced during a particularly turbulent period in American history. The United States was in the midst of the Great Depression, a time when the country faced severe economic challenges. The coin itself, minted in Philadelphia, was struck during this period of economic hardship, which is one of the reasons it holds significant historical weight among collectors. With the financial turmoil affecting the production of many commodities, fewer people were focused on coin collecting, and thus fewer coins were saved in mint condition. This scarcity factor combined with the coin's design and its historical backdrop makes it incredibly valuable in today's market. When it comes to the design of the 1930 wheat penny, the most obvious feature is the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design of Lincoln became one of the most enduring and recognized images in U.S. coinage. The obverse features a finely detailed bust of Lincoln set against a plain background with the words, "In God We Trust and Liberty," inscribed above and 1930 below. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks frame the words, "E pluribus unum," and 1 cent. This design, which was relatively simple but powerful, was the hallmark of the wheat penny series. Now, in terms of mintage, the 1930 wheat penny was struck in large numbers. However, it is important to note that while the mintage was not low by any means, the coin is still relatively scarce in high grades. The total mintage of the 1930 without a mint mark is estimated at around 72 million pieces, which may sound like a lot, but when considering the fact that many of these coins were heavily circulated, finding one in high-grade condition is quite rare. The condition of a coin plays a significant role in determining its value, and the 1930 wheat penny is no exception. Coins in circulated conditions, such as the one we're discussing today, typically show signs of wear, but the most sought-after examples are those that have been preserved relatively well. A coin that is only lightly worn and retains much of its original details can fetch higher prices than a heavily worn example. In terms of market value, the 1930 wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to a significant amount, depending on its grade. In average circulated condition, you might find this coin valued around $15,000. However, as the condition improves and the coin becomes less worn, the value can increase dramatically. For instance, in fine condition, this coin might be worth closer to $10,000, and in very fine or extremely fine condition, you could see values approaching $6,000 or even higher in some cases. At auction, examples that are certified in MS 65 or better can easily fetch $10,000 or more, making this coin a great investment for those looking to enter the world of rare coin collecting. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin because of its role in the history of U.S. coinage, its scarcity in higher grades, and its affordability for those new to the hobby. As a coin that is relatively easy to obtain in lower grade conditions but becomes increasingly rare in higher grades, the 1930 wheat penny is a perfect example of a coin that presents both a challenge and an opportunity for numismatists. As more collectors focus on completing their Lincoln wheat cent collections, coins like the 1930 without a mint mark are sure to remain in demand, ensuring that its value continues to appreciate over time. One interesting thing to note about the 1930 wheat penny is the potential for some error coins to emerge from this year's mintage. Some 1930 wheat pennies exhibit what are known as die cracks, or re-punchment marks, though these errors are quite rare. These variations can significantly increase the value of the coin, depending on the type and extent of the error. For collectors, these errors can add an exciting dimension to the search for rare specimens, and can sometimes command much higher premiums in the auction world. In conclusion, the 1930 wheat penny without a mint mark, while not the rarest coin in the series, holds a special place in U.S. numismatics. Its historical significance, attractive design, and relatively high mintage make it an appealing coin for collectors. However, it is its rarity in higher grades that continues to drive its value, especially in the auction market T. Next up, the 1950 wheat penny, with the large date and the D mint mark, is another coin that has garnered significant interest in recent years due to its rarity, distinctive features, and historical background. Unlike the 1930 wheat penny, which was struck during the depths of the Great Depression, the 1950 issue was produced in the post-World War II era when the U.S. economy was recovering and the demand for coins was high. The 1950 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln series that ran from 1909 to 1958, a period marked by economic growth, technological advancement, and cultural change in the United States. The 1950 wheat penny features a prominent design, with the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner. This design has been widely celebrated for its simplicity and elegance, and it remains one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage history. The reverse of the coin features two stalks of wheat that frame the words 1 cent with E pluribus unum inscribed between them. This reverse design, which has come to symbolize the U.S. economy and agriculture, was used on the Lincoln wheat penny from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The main distinguishing feature of the 1950 wheat penny is the large date that was struck on the coins produced that year. The large date is particularly significant because it stands out from other years due to the size and spacing of the digits in the date. Some collectors focus on acquiring these large date coins because they are considered more visually appealing and unique. These large date coins are often more highly valued than their smaller date counterparts, as they are considered to be a more distinctive variation of the 1950 penny. The D mint mark on the 1950 penny indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint was one of the busiest mints in the country at the time, and it produced millions of coins each year to meet the demands of the growing U.S. economy. The 1950 penny with the D mint mark has a mintage of over 100 million pieces, making it relatively common in comparison to some other years. However, despite the high mintage, the coin remains valuable, particularly when it is found in very fine condition. In very fine condition, the 1950 wheat penny with the D mint mark is worth significantly more than its lower-grade counterparts. In today's market, a coin in very fine condition can be worth anywhere from $56,000 depending on the level of detail preserved. In higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated condition, the value can increase substantially, with auction prices reaching $50,000 or more for coins in near mint state. The primary reason for the value of the 1950 wheat penny lies in its collector demand and rarity in high grades. While it was produced in large numbers, the condition of many surviving examples is less than ideal due to heavy circulation. As with most coins, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. As a result, collectors actively search for well-preserved examples of the 1950 penny in hopes of acquiring a piece that stands out both for its historical significance and its beauty. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1950 wheat penny is the potential for error coins. Like many other coins from this era, the 1950 penny was prone to various minting errors, such as double strikes, die cracks, and off-center strikes. These errors can dramatically increase the value of the coin, especially if they are particularly rare or pronounced. Some collectors specifically seek out error coins because they add an element of uniqueness to their collection and can command significant premiums in the marketplace. In conclusion, the 1950 wheat penny with the large date and D mint mark remains one of the more valuable coins from the Lincoln wheat cent series. Its design, historical context, and relative rarity in high grades contribute to its appeal among collectors. As demand for well-preserved examples continues to grow, the value of this coin is likely to continue increasing, making it a great option for collectors and investors alike. Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat 1 cent coin holds a very special place in American numismatics. It was struck during a time of intense wartime production, and, like many other coins produced during World War II, carries with it a certain sense of significance and rarity. The large date variety, specifically, is a rare variant in the 1944 Lincoln cent series, and finding one in circulated fine condition is no small feat. The year 1944 marked a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage as the country was deep into World War II. The economy was under strain, and the U.S. Mint was tasked with producing coins in high quantities to meet the needs of the public. The 1944 Lincoln cent was struck in large quantities, primarily to fill the nation's demand for everyday currency. However, within this production, some unique features and varieties emerged. One such variety was the large date variety, which refers to a specific style of the date on the coin. The digits in the date were struck with a larger font size, a feature that differs from the typical smaller date style that was used on other years in the series. The 1944 Lincoln cent with a large date and a D mint mark, is especially noteworthy because it was produced at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint played a key role during wartime, churning out millions of coins for circulation, including the Lincoln cent. The minting of coins in large quantities was necessary for the U.S. economy, but this also meant that many of the coins produced were eventually circulated in the hands of the general public, leading to wear and tear over time. The result is that most of the coins from this era, including the 1944 large date with D mint mark, are typically found in lower grades such as fine or very fine condition. However, even in a circulated fine condition, this coin holds a tremendous amount of value. As of today, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent in fine condition is worth far more than its face value. The market for coins like these has seen considerable growth in recent years, driven by both collector demand and the coin's historical significance. In auction markets, a circulated fine example of the 1944 large date with D mint mark Lincoln cent can fetch upwards of $25,000 depending on factors such as the specific condition of the coin, its toning, and its overall appeal. While this may not be the highest value for a Lincoln cent, it is important to understand the rarity of finding this coin in fine condition. Given that these coins were circulated extensively during and after the war, many have suffered significant wear, which has led to fewer high-quality specimens surviving over time. This contributes to the demand and value seen today, particularly for coins with desirable mint marks, and distinctive varieties like the 1944 large date with D mint mark. The design features of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent are quintessential to the series. On the obverse, we find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image is rendered with exceptional detail, a testament to Brenner's craftsmanship. The reverse features two stalks of wheat, a symbol of the agricultural prosperity of the United States at the time. The wheat motif became synonymous with the Lincoln cent and remained a hallmark of the series for many years. In terms of mintage, the 1944 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark had an estimated mintage of 430 million coins, making it one of the more common issues of the era. However, as with any coin, rarity is not solely determined by mintage numbers. Condition plays a critical role in a coin's value. Most 1944 cents saw heavy circulation, resulting in a large number of coins being worn down over the years. This means that high-grade examples are much more rare, and those in fine condition command a significant premium over lower-grade pieces. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1944 large date variety because of its distinctiveness. The larger font for the date is a design feature that immediately sets it apart from other coins in the same year, adding an element of intrigue for numismatists who are keen to spot and collect varieties. The coin's historical relevance also cannot be understated. Produced during World War II, the 1944 Lincoln cent is not just a piece of currency, it is a tangible connection to the past, representing the economic and social context of the era. While the 1944 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent is not the rarest or most expensive coin from the series, its unique features, historical importance, and growing demand in the collector market have solidified its place as one of the more valuable coins in the U.S. numismatic landscape. Moving on to our second coin, we have the 1947 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent with a large date and a D-era mint mark, in a unique rusty red color and dirty condition. This coin stands out for several reasons, particularly because of the error associated with the D mint mark, the specific condition it is in, and the intriguing color toning that gives it a distinctive appearance. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent is part of the series that followed the conclusion of World War II, a period when the United States was transitioning back into a peacetime economy. The post-war years were marked by significant changes in the production of coins, as the need for wartime coinage began to diminish. The 1947 Lincoln cent was minted in large numbers to continue fulfilling the demands of a growing economy. However, as with many coins from this era, small errors and variations started to appear in the minting process. One of the most notable features of the 1947 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent with a D mint mark is the error associated with the mint mark itself. The D-mint mark on this coin is considered an error because it was poorly struck, leading to a slightly off-center or weakly impressed mint mark. This error is significant in the world of numismatics, as collectors often seek out coins with minting flaws or abnormalities, as they tend to be rarer and more valuable. The D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most prominent mints in the country, and any deviation from the intended design is a valuable discovery. In addition to the mint mark error, this coin is also characterized by its rusty red color, a result of the coin being exposed to various environmental conditions over time. The rusty red hue is caused by oxidation, and while it may be seen as a flaw by some collectors, it adds a layer of history and character to the coin. The dirty condition of the coin further contributes to its unique appearance. In fact, many collectors find coins in dirty or aged conditions particularly fascinating because they tell a story of the coin's journey through time. Such coins often have a more personal connection to history, having been handled, spent, and circulated for decades. The 1947 Lincoln cent with the D mint mark in rusty red, dirty condition is indeed a coin of interest, and its value on the auction market is influenced by a combination of factors: the error mint mark, the unique coloration, and its historical significance. While it may not be as widely sought after as other rare coins in pristine condition, this coin still commands attention. On today's auction market, coins with such unique features and conditions can fetch anywhere from $50,000 depending on their appeal to collectors looking for specific varieties, errors, or coins with unique toning. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent is also notable for its design features. On the obverse, as with the other coins in the series, we see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, whose likeness became iconic in American numismatics. The reverse, featuring the 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizes the country's agricultural strength, a design that has become synonymous with the Lincoln cent. In terms of mintage, the 1947 Lincoln cent had a relatively high production rate, with an estimated mintage of over 1 billion coins, making it one of the more common coins in the Lincoln cent series. However, as is often the case with coins produced in large quantities, the rarity and value of individual examples are determined by factors such as condition, mint marks, and any additional errors or anomalies that may be present. Coins from this era, particularly those with errors, are valuable due to their relative scarcity in high-grade conditions. The 1947 large date with D error mint mark is a coin that exemplifies how small variations can make a huge impact in the world of coin collecting. The combination of historical context, minting errors, unique coloration, and dirty condition all contribute to the coin's appeal. Whether it's the allure of the error, the curiosity of the rusty red toning, or the historical connection to the post-war period, this coin continues to capture the attention of collectors and investors alike. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!